So I'm an impact assessment regulator in the Victorian Government in Australia. And so I want to start off by really just talking about what is the government perspective on impact assessment generally. Of course, impact assessment is designed to tell people what they can expect from this proposal that's come forward. And for government, what we're looking for is information about the impacts of the project that's rigorous, transparent and integrated. Now, we've heard from the other speakers about some of the opportunities with digital impact assessment, and I'm just going to expand a bit on a couple of the challenges. So I'm going to talk about the objectivity of the information, which is related to the rigour, and I'm also going to talk about transparency, but in particular information being on the public record. Okay, so we're interested in information being objective because it's got an important job to do. It informs people and helps them form opinions about this proposal. So with the impact assessment, sort of the development of an impact assessment, we start in terms of we start with the scientist. The scientist is undertaking the investigations to inform the impact assessment, and that's true for both the digital impact assessment and the documented impact assessment. The next important phase of impact assessment is communicating the results of those investigations. And for documented impact assessment, the general way that's been done is that it's written up by environmental scientists. So we're sort of continuing that sort of stream of scientific kind of approach and objectivity through from the investigation aspects of the work into the communication parts. I think with digital impact assessment, the issue, a risk arises in that environmental scientists don't necessarily have those skills for communication in the digital environment, and often we're going to be looking elsewhere for other skill sets and I think a classic place to find that is probably in the media and marketing kind of area, and of course that is a completely different sort of mindset really. They might have some communication skills in terms of visualisations and that sort of thing, but objectivity is not highly prized in the kind of media and marketing area. In fact, it's often a liability. So I guess we see that is something that we should be aware of in moving forward into this digital impact assessment.
Catherine, could you move the microphone?
Sorry, is that better?
Yes.
Great, sorry. And the other issue I wanted to talk about was in terms of information being on the public record, and a number of the other speakers have introduced this topic as well. So the information being on the public record is important for a number of reasons. It keeps the project proponent accountable, so if the information is sort of documented, we can always go back to that information and ask why the proponent isn't doing things as they committed to in their documented information. It also helps over the long term. It's a record that's going to be there for the long term, and if, as you know, project proponents change, so it sort of has that longevity too that we expect from a documented impact assessment. And so when we move into this digital world, there's another reason why we value the information being on the public record, and that is because we're looking for, we may need to refer to documented information if there's a legal challenge. So that's another reason we'd be wanting to have a clear record of what's been committed to as the project develops. So that is going to be a challenge, and I think some of the things that Paul was talking about was already starting to address that issue, but it's something that we're interested in as regulators. And just finally, in this slide, government is the dog in both pictures. Is government going to really lead this change, or are we going to just kind of put up with it and deal with it as it comes to us? And I think really there is an opportunity for government to lead this because of a lot of the benefits that have been discussed by the speakers today. But to do that well, I think we're going to have to address those issues of objectivity and information being on the public record. We need to review our regulatory frameworks and see if there's any impediments there for digital impact assessment. And finally, government has a decision to make about its own projects. There's an opportunity there for government to actually start using digital impact assessment on its own projects. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.